Hello friends, in this video we are going to see what are the different kinds of data power devices that can exist in the market and when to use what. So in my earlier video I have introduced you about data power family, data power appliance family, and I have also shown you the context in which data power appliance is usually used. We have seen that it's a DMZ ready device, and it has a configuration based interface based on which you can configure various services, the data power, and what can usually take tens of programmers in Java and weeks to achieve in high-level programming languages like Java or C++ can be done with the data power in hours. So that's where the data power shines. In this video, I'm going to get a little bit deeper about data power family, and I'm going to touch upon key members of the data power family, and I'm going to show you about what are the key properties of each of the data power boxes, so that you have clear understanding about when to use what box. And we will also see a sample deployment model of the data power as well, and how it is placed in the DMZ zone. And then we will basically touch upon key aspects of data power XI52 box, which is a top level member of data power family. So let's get started, and I'm picking up from where I left in my earlier video. So we have introduction of data power appliance, and we have seen why it is a DMZ ready device, and then we have met with data power product family. So I will start from here. So there are three key products of a data power family, and there are variants of it as well. So the first appliance is XA35, which is the least advanced model of the data power family. A stands for XML acceleration, and XA35 in its core is XML acceleration engine. So XA35 has got super capabilities of XML acceleration, and it can transform XML at near wire speed, but it has got a limited security capability. So this slide shows the key capabilities of XA35 as well as where it shortfalls. So it's an entry-level product in the line. XA stands for XML acceleration. It is at its core a highly efficient XML processing engine. So if you are doing XML processing with any kind of software-based solutions like Java or C++ for that matter, you can anyways try to consider XA35 for XML processing. And if the XML processing is large, I mean, if there are large XML documents that needs to be processed, or if there are a small number of XML documents, if there are a large number of small XML document that needs to be processed, XA35 is the appliance which you can try to leverage. It makes use of data power purpose-built features such as optimized cache and dedicated SSL hardware to process XML at near wire speed. So XML processing is happening at near wire speed. It has limited security processing capabilities. So this is one of the shortcomings of the XA35 model, and we cannot say it really a shortcoming in a sense that XA35 was never meant for a DMZ ready device. So it usually sits behind the DMZ, and its primary purpose is to accelerate XML processing. So XA35 was the earliest member of the data power family, and it was built for it wasn't built for a DMZ zone. So it doesn't have full XML threat protection, and it generally sits behind the DMZ zone. So this is all about XA35, and the primary and the core idea is that XA35 is a XML acceleration engine, and you should not consider it for security purposes. It's not a security appliance, and if you want that security capabilities, you need to think of another member of data power family. Let's go back. The second member of Datapower product family is XS40. So S here, S stands for security. So XS40 has got a capability, all the capabilities of Datapower XA35, plus it has got some more capabilities which is related to XML security. Now I would like to pause for a moment and tell you about Datapower product evolution. So we have discussed XA35 and now we are discussing XS40. Is there any appliance that sits in between that? Or for that matter, the same question appears for XS40 and XI52. XI52 is the top level box, top level appliance in the product family. So yeah, there are other products that sits in between these major family members, and they are, for example, XG45, which is shown, which I have written over here, and for that matter, XB box, which is a B2B box. There are other appliances as well, and they have been there because they have a specific purpose. So we know that Datapower is a purpose-built appliance, and it's not like you can customize it at will. So it comes customized, factory fitted. So you have Datapower appliance, and all that you can do is that configuration. So if, for example, if XS40 does not have a capability to connect with the SQL source, there is no plugin that comes that you can install on XS40 and make it connect to the database. No, that can't happen. As a result, in market there are a lot of demand for a lot of things. Some people wanted to have XML gateway, which has capabilities more than what we can see in the XS40. For example, some people wanted to have a B2B focused appliance. So these kinds of demands have given rise to these kind of boxes like XB or XG kind of thing. So they do exist in the market, and when you are evaluating Datapower for your purpose, you must go ahead on the IBM site and see what are the features that distinguish one devices from another. In this video, I am going to only touch upon the major members of the Datapower family, the key members of the Datapower family, but keep in mind variants do exist. So XS40, we're talking about XS40. XS40 is second key member of the Datapower family. It has got all the features of XA35, plus it has got some more feature. So let's look at what are the features. XS stands for XML security. So security is hardened in XS40 box. It is the security hardened device which has all capabilities of XA plus a lot more features. And what those features are: it has a purpose-built encryption decryption module inside that Datapower firmware. So it has encryption decryption utilizing purpose-built hardware for RSA encryption. So usually when you do RSA encryption, or when you do cryptography in your software modules, it is the software which is doing the cryptographic operations. But in Datapower, you can just see that how fast it is, and why it is because it is being done in purpose-built hardware and firmware that comes with the Datapower device. So the speed at which that encryption decryption happens is amazing in Datapower. Then it has fine-grained authentication, authorization, and auditing. So that's how Datapower typically deals with authentication. So when we talk about authentication, Datapower says that it has three aspects. It's authentication, authorization, and auditing, AAA together. So in XS40, you can have AAA policy that deals with authentication and authorization aspects of it. So in a nutshell, you have that sort of capabilities also in the Datapower as well. It has full XML threat protection. So XML threat protection is there, and it has web services management. So web services proxy that you can create with the XS40 box. Web services proxy are what by which you can expose your web services to external third-party vendors or to your consumers. Then it has SLM capabilities, service level monitoring is there, and there is an option for configuring Tivoli Access Manager. So Tivoli Access Manager is there for utilizing third-party authentication tools. Usually, in an enterprise, when an authentication happens, the credential resides not on the data power, but in a third-party repository, and the authentication happens with the with the help of that third-party repository. So IBM Datapower XS40 has capabilities that it can connect with Tivoli Access Manager. So that is for XS40. Now you may be wondering what is left. I mean, what is there that is not in XS40? So yes, there are some features which are purposefully important for integration purposes, and those features can add a lot of value over what is mentioned over here, and those features are present in XI52 box. So we will talk about it, but let's go back and see. So we have discussed XS40 box. Datapower XG45 is a variant of XS40 to best of my understanding, and it has similar capabilities to XS40. So nowadays XG45 is very popular, and it's a DMZ ready device. So it's readily put into the DMZ zone. And now let's talk about XI52, which is top level model of the Datapower. The color is blue, but the original color of the box was blue, but I'm not sure what colors it comes. And since the IBM has taken over to the Datapower company, so I think that this box now comes in a black color, and in fact all the boxes comes in the black color now. But this is something which I need to verify first. But so let's move on to the XI52 box. So we have discussed XI35, XS40, and now we are top level product XI52. Here I would like to first tell you that I have mentioned model number XI52, but there is another model that comes, and that is XI50. XI50 and XI52 boxes differ in their hardware capabilities, best of my understanding, and because I was always dealing with XI52, and I have read somewhere that XI50 is an older box and it has older configuration related to XI52, but I am not very sure about it. XI in XI, I stands for integration, because this device is purpose built for integration, and this device is actually meant for enterprise integration and SOA enablement. So this is a top level product in the Datapower family. I stands for integration, and it has full integration capabilities. It has all the features of XS40 box plus a lot more features. WebSphere MQ client, for example, WebSphere MQ client option is present. You will not find it in XG45 or XS40 for that matter. WebSphere MQ client support is over here. WebSphere GMS Jetstream protocol connectivity that you can build over here. TIBCO Enterprise Messaging Service EMS connectivity is also there. IBM IMS Connect client. I think IMS is something which IBM is using for their mainframe system. So IMS Connect client is also there. And now there is a database option. So if you want to augment XI52's capability, if you want to store something in the database, XS40 is not the box you should go with. You should consider using XI52, and it has database options for DB2, Sybase, Oracle, and SQL Server, which I think covers most of the market in the database segment. It has optimized runtime engine for non-XML transformation. So this is one of the key things that you should consider while choosing a box. So there are times when we need to have XML to non-XML and non-XML to XML transformation. And this feature especially comes handy when you are dealing with mobile clients. So mobile clients are clients which typically say that I can consume the XML data, but it's fine if it's highly efficient for me if you give me JSON, and JSON is not XML. So JSON is non-XML kind of thing. So if you are dealing with a scenario in which such kind of XML to non-XML transformation is required at a large scale, then XI52 box is something which you have which you need to consider. It has a built-in support for such kind of XML to non-XML transformation, and that happens with the proprietary format of the Datapower, which is called JSON-X. So we will see more about this JSON-X in later videos, because that's not something relevant in this video. So I will create another video for that. But such kind of capabilities of changing an XML into non-XML and vice versa is available in XI52 models as well. And in mobility world, wherein we have to front face the mobile devices, XI52 comes very handy. Now this figure depicts key, you can say, the one of the typical network topology in which Datapower device is used, and I would like to just show you a couple of interesting things that can be that you must consider over here. So we have three different zones. One is internet, one is DMZ, and another is intranet, which is trusted network. And you can see that there are two boxes over here. One is Datapower XG45 box. This is Datapower XG45 box, and this is Datapower XI52 box. So XG45 works as a XML gateway. It has all the security capabilities, threat protection. So it is the primary device which interfaces the end client, which are present on the internet. Clients connect to the XG45 boxes via several kinds of objects. I have just used authentication gateway for that. And once the authentication and everything is complete, the request is forwarded to another Datapower box, which is XI52 box. It has all the capabilities of integration, and there are web services proxy that can exist over here, and those web services proxy then connects with end user end servers. This is the resource server. They connect with those servers, they get those resources, and then they fulfill that resource, fulfill the request, and the response goes back to the client. So this is a typical deployment of the Datapower, in which one Datapower is deployed in the DMZ zone and another Datapower is deployed inside the DMZ zone. They collaborate and they work together to fulfill clients' requests. So this is a typical deployment. Variants of it do exist in the market, and I have just tried to explain which device fits where and a typical use case for that. So this is a typical arrangement of Datapower boxes in a in a solution scenario. Now let's move on to another thing. Datapower as a member of network infrastructure. So at its physical core, the Datapower appliances are network devices, and you will come to know you will feel this if you work with the command line options of the Datapower. You will feel this, and just like when you are working with Cisco router or ASA firewall, you change modes, you go into configuration modes, and you exit out of configuration modes. Similarly, when you deal with the Datapower, you will see that just like you shoot commands on the router or ASA firewall, you shoot commands in this while working with the Datapower as well. This is nowhere more apparent than when you are working with command line options. Data power as its core is essentially a network device, so it has a full-blown capabilities that fits it into the network infrastructure. And to fit it into the network infrastructure, it supports a number of protocols that allows you to monitor the data power as part of your holistic network infrastructure. And it has so, for example, SNMP is the protocol which we typically use for monitoring devices that exist on the network level, and data power has full support of that. Apart from that, data power also provides you full support for application level protocols. So that's something people get confused a lot about. I mean, what data power devices? When you are dealing with the data power, you will have to configure a lot of things. You'll have to configure network, you have to configure interfaces, just like you configure in any kind of a box. It has a lot of Ethernet interfaces that you need to configure. You need to configure SNMP, and people who are generally accustomed about application programming, they are not usually trained to do so. So that's something that is required to make data power up and running. And once it's up and running, you'll have an option to deal with application level protocols. For example, HTTP, HTTPS, etc., etc. So people get confused. I mean, what this appliance is, do we need networking skills to operate it? Do we need application programming skills to operate it? So the clear answer is yes. Or what you can do is that what people typically do is that they segment this thing. They say that one of us is data power administrator who has more understanding about networking, and they deal with the network stuff. They deal with assigning IPs, clustering, SNMP monitoring, etc., etc. So they do administrative stuff, and people who are more expertise on application level, they deal with application programming protocols like HTTP, HTTPS, etc., etc. So that's how the support for data power, typical support for data power is organized. But in order to troubleshoot a problem, so whenever, suppose you configured something and some problem emerged, so in order to troubleshoot the problem, you need to have networking skills as well. I mean, I have seen cases in which debugging frequently goes in at the networking level, and this is not uncommon with the data power. This is a usual activity with the data power. So you need to have networking skills as well. You need to able to understand the packet captures. You need to do the packet captures in Wireshark or whatever tool you want, and you should be able to analyze those. And and you can go ahead with the Wireshark, and you can see that the interface itself is a lot more complex for an application programmer who usually deals with Java or C++. So that's something about protocol support for data power. And the appliance comes with SNMP MIB files that can be important to your monitoring tools to set up monitoring policy. MIB stands for Management Information Base, and if you have an SNMP monitoring tool available, every enterprise has that, you can export the MIB files. They are ready to export in the Data Power Appliance. So you can export the MIB files related to each aspects of the data power. You can import that MIB files in your SNMP monitoring tools, and you are good to go. So that's what you require for SNMP monitoring of the data power. Remember that there are a couple of SNMP monitoring tools that are in the market. They require a special agent to be installed on a target node where the monitoring happens. I mean, and the boxes you want to monitor, they need to be fitted with such an agent. That kind of monitoring is not possible with the data power, because data power will not allow you to install any kind of third-party plugins or software on top of its firmware. So that's not possible. And if you have an SNMP infrastructure, SNMP monitoring infrastructure that requires such kind of agent installation on boxes to which it wants to monitor, it cannot monitor the data power. The only way to monitor it is to use the MIBs and then use the SNMP. There are other ways in which data power can be monitored and managed. They utilize XML for that matter. But as a network infrastructure, if you have SNMP monitoring enabled, you should be able to import the MIB files which exist in the data power in order to monitor the data power. There is no support for any third-party agent installation on the box. Now, as I said, monitoring can also be achieved. So SNMP monitoring data power has a limitation that you cannot install the SNMP agent on that data power. It comes with pre-built SNMP agent, and customized agent installation is not possible. But does that mean that we cannot monitor the data power at all? No, that does not mean. Monitoring also can be achieved using the SOAP-based interface. And if, for example, IBM Tivoli product family, which generally deals with such kind of monitoring aspects of the service-oriented architecture, so ITCAM for SOA is something which can be integrated with the data power, and SOAP-based messages can be utilized for monitoring the data power appliance. If you want to manage the data power appliance, for that matter, you have three options available, and one is WAMC, which is WebSphere Appliance Management Console. This is a specialized software that you need to install on your machine, and you will get a web-based interface, and through that web-based interface you can manage the overall data power appliance. By managing, the key features includes the key features includes uploading firmware on the data power, upgrading the data power, domain management, user management. So these are the key things that you can do with WMC. It provides a web-based interface, and it's very easy to use. Another is that if you have a VAS server, WebSphere application server, you can use its admin console as well. If you go to the admin console on the left hand side, there is an option for data power appliance management. You can utilize that console as well to manage and monitor the data power appliance. Data power appliance also provides you a full feature that is utilized for logging purpose. So if you want a remote logging capability in the data to configure the data power, then you can configure objects logging targets that can log the logs on syslog and syslog ng utilities. I mean, that kind of integration is also possible. And one thing that you must know with the about the data power, and that you will also come to know when you especially deal with the data power, is that there is nothing that works by default in the data power except the basic connectivity. So data power has got a lot of features, but you need to configure it, and there is nothing enabled by default. And this is a typical philosophy behind any DMZ ready device that goes into DMZ. So there is nothing enabled by default except a few basic things like the GUI, which allows you to configure options, and a few users which are there to initialize the data power appliance. So this is a figure of the data power appliance, and this is typically, and you can see that data power has got, it's a 1U rack mounted device which typically sits in your data center. It has a lot of Ethernets. These are the ports for 8. Yeah, it has got 8 Ethernet slots. Each one can be assigned a different IP. So it will look like a router or a switch for that matter. And there are other ports of it. There is a serial port that must be used to initialize a data power appliance. So when you first initialize the data power appliance, you use a serial cable that comes with the data power appliance, and you connect to your computer, and then you get a hyperterminal through which you initialize the data power appliance. And once it is good to go, then you can assign various IPs to for management purpose, for other application serving purpose. So this is how a typical data power appliance is built. So that's all for this video, and I think I have covered the basic things about the data power appliance, and I will try to create some more videos related to that dives really deep into the data power appliance capabilities and other features, especially SSO, etc., etc. I have created other videos for for how to configure specific things in the data power, so you can always go through that on my channel, and you will get a look and feel about data power interface, what to how to achieve what, and other sorts of things. But that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. This is Ajitabh.